party. Have a listening party.
Yeah. What? Yeah. What'd you say? We're a one take pod? What's that mean?
We're one and done.
Yeah. What else?
In and out.
Yikes.
Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen,
yeah,
I would like to welcome you to the Greatest Show on Podcast. I'm your host, Lee.
What else?
AKA Southside Lee on IG.
What else?
And I'm joined by my partner in pod.
Yucks! Earlington Agustas the Great.
AKA
your baby mama's baby daddy.
AKA
your auntie's favorite pool boy.
AKA
Deep Soft. And we are
3ThePodWay. Chumps.
Your success took a shot at it. What are you gonna do now? How are you gonna kill it? You gonna become unsuccessful?
You goddamn right. Let's give it up for him.
DKA!
They love to watch me come, but hate to watch me go.
DKA!
This is my last show. This is my last show. Just so you guys know, this is my last show.
Let's give it up for him.
Wagwan. Oh, I was supposed to. Was that for me to keep going?
Nah, it's all good.
Oh, all right, my bad.
The time has passed.
Yeah.
We paid.
Hey, listen. So let's do it the right way. Word from our sponsors.
Word from our sponsors.
Follow 3ThePodWay on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Chumps.
Sounds so beautiful, don't you agree?
Yeah.
We love the babies.
Yeah, so
FDK. Not dumb kids specifically, but just kids in general.
In a more serious note,
yeah.
before we get started, today, unfortunately, marks the passing of, I guess you would have to consider him a cultural icon.
A legend, for
You'd
sure.
have to, right? Legend, a living legend at the time, right?
Right.
Unfortunately, today marks the passing of DMX, aka Darkman X, aka Earl Simmons.
Earl Simmons. Yeah.
So we just wanted to just kind of honor that, I guess, with a 10-second moment of silence.
Yeah, so we give him a
All right. So naturally, when these things happen, right? I think inherently the first thing you think about is all the things that remind you of that person.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. And so like we obviously have shown that we're very into like rap.
Yeah.
Right. The origins, etc.
agree with that.
Right. So what was your first interaction, if you can recall, what was your first interaction with X?
With DMX?
Yeah.
My mom's crib, Newkirk Street in Philly, the back room. That was my room at the time. Doom, 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 doom. It was like 1, 2, 1, 2, come through something. You don't know what the gun do.
Right.
Yeah, that line. I think I had just finished listening to Big Pun too after that, or around that same time. I think they came out that same summer or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. But Packing the Mac in the back of the act, and that DMX intro was crazy.
Yeah, I remember like
he was the intro before the Meek intro.
Man, I'll tell you, yeah, absolutely, right? So I remember you heard about X before you saw him.
Oh, yeah.
And this was obviously before social media was like really, really taking over, and like the rollout was like a thing, right?
Oh, right.
And I remember there was always this building up, like X is the guy. And you heard the stories, right? Because this was back when like the Source magazine, like you heard about or read about the album like 6 months before it came out, and you started seeing the advertisements build up.
Yeah, that rollout thing is dead now.
Yeah, sure. Just about, right? Like Beyonce killed the rollout.
Yeah, she definitely did. Now everybody think they Beyonce.
Right,
like you can't do what she did, bruh.
So I remember the first time I saw the black and white video.
Not They Don't Know.
No, man. Why am I catching a blank now? His first video on MTV, the black and white video.
I might have been too young, bro.
Get at Me, dog.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
In the tunnel, right?
Yeah.
And that kind of marked the introduction of DMX to like the world, right?
Okay. Word, respect.
And from that point on, for the next easily 2 to 3 years,
yeah, he went on a run.
he dominated
I think he had 2 #1 albums in the same
year,
Yeah,
right?
that's hard.
He was the first rapper that I can recall that dropped 2 #1 albums in the same year.
Who else did that? I know Plies. Didn't Plies do that too?
Stop.
No.
Stop.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind.
but
This
yeah,
is about
man. I
DMX, my
mean,
bad.
and he was part of that Def Jam movement,
Yeah.
that machine, with the Rough Riders, Murder Inc., Rockefeller.
That Rough Riders run was hard.
Yeah, he was the face of Rough Riders, right? So again, I guess we could definitely go down memory lane, but does anybody have any moments that just stand out in particular outside of that?
I mean, like I said, that's the first time I remember hearing them, and just very, very high level. I mean, the Damien series, those joints used to be, that was the vibe. So that's it, man.
Man, I'll tell you, for me personally, what I guess kind of drew me to him as a fan was that he was probably the first rapper that I felt was like who he said he was outside of pop, right? Because he showed the dichotomy of a human. Like he was very much like the aggressor. Like he talked about robbing people, but this is the same guy when he talked about God and he did his prayers.
Oh yeah,
he felt them on that too.
While robbing
and
you,
the true dichotomy of people.
Yeah, that's
right.
True.
You can be two things at the same time, and he made you feel that way. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what kind of drew me to him. I think as a fan,
his storytelling through his raps. I think for me,
epic. Yeah.
So.
Because man, how's it going down? That brings me to how's it going down. Yeah. You heard the song, right? But then when he put the video with it, you already kind of knew the story. Yeah, based on how he told it. And that was a perfect video. Yeah, for sure.
Yo, he probably got the most names in any songs and throughout his song history.
You gotta give him that.
Y'all thought Drake was giving the spilling the juice?
That's true. That's true.
It was Brenda, Letitia, Kanisha, Juanita. About
Juanez
3 Kims
and Alicia.
3 Kims. Yikes! Slow down.
Latoya and Tina.
Right.
But this is also what you should do in moments like this. You should smile. Yeah. You should remember the good times and celebrate the life. So again, one time for DMX.
Yes, sir. Give it up for him.
Now.
Uh-oh.
University of North Carolina.
Awkward transition. This is an awkward transition.
Well, how do you get out of that?
No,
it's not even his fault. You can't even dance out of that.
So University of North Carolina, right?
Tar Heels.
Right, Tar Heels. Storied.
I still need them.
Storied University.
Them Jordan ones. I still need them ones.
I'll plug you with the connect.
You know the sound effect I need already queued up for this conversation alone. Just
so University of North Carolina, storied academic institution, right? Now probably known more for Michael Jordan, University of North Carolina basketball team,
athletic,
and just the color, right? Because
it's Carolina blue is real.
Yeah, it's Carolina blue.
That's hard.
It used to be baby blue, before
it was popping. Yeah, no. Now it's North Carolina blue.
Yeah, it's North Carolina blue.
It's clearly Carolina.
So Roy Williams,
crazy kick game, by the way,
retired. Right. And so now the university has to find who they're going to replace him with. And people are throwing out, any number of names, right? Former North Carolina players, other coaches at other universities. But considering the movement and the time we're in, it made sense to go with potentially an African American, right? Yeah, so now the list got shorter. Jerry Stackhouse, Hubert Davis.
Sheed Wallace wasn't on that list?
Nah, he wasn't. He didn't make the cut.
Man, shout out to Sheed, man. Philly, man.
So they decided to go with Hubert Davis, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? Hubert Davis played in the NBA. He's a former North Carolina player. He was an assistant under Roy Williams for X amount of time.
What's you think he got a nickname, or he'd be like, no, my name's Hubert?
I'm not sure.
Okay. You know what I mean? You know those kind of guys?
But now Mr. Davis
Okay.
is at a press conference and he's in front
Coach Davis.
Coach Davis. Is
Coach Hubie. Hube.
is in front of the cameras now.
I hate it here.
And this isn't funny, but it's funny.
It's very funny.
No, it's hilarious.
This is hilarious.
So as he's describing the fact that he's
The importance of his moment.
the importance of being an African American at
the
this
first at that
the
university.
first.
at this
And only.
university, he's running down the stats, right? I believe he said 26% of coaches in Division I basketball are African Americans. And in that moment, you swell with pride. You're like, man, this is a moment,
That is beautiful.
right? And you looking at your room, you looking at your friends, and you like, that's
Hey,
us.
one out of you four could be a coach
Right.
at a
Right. We
The
can
Division
we
I
can.
college.
We can.
maybe.
And then he hits you with, what did he say, Nacy?
And there's always a but.
Yeah, what did he say?
I'm proud of being a strong black man. I'm proud of being the first.
Yeah.
I'm proud of my family and our accomplishments, and the list goes
Yeah,
on.
beautiful list.
And I'm also proud to have a white wife.
I love it.
And it's like you can't
What's
be
wrong with that?
upset because
That's amazing. That's beautiful.
shout out to that queen. Okay, shout out to that.
Because we can all agree that inherently, we can all agree inherently, there's nothing wrong with what he said.
Nothing.
It's just
How in
the
the context.
timing.
it was the timing, and it was unprovoked.
Yeah.
Like no one, nothing about the question asked.
We weren't talking about that, bro.
Right. Okay, so this is my perception.
He
So
was
I
pre-
seen
he
it.
was prepped.
I saw it live and then rewatched it after.
Okay.
So when I'm rewatching, I'm looking and I'm like, it looks like this was scripted. Like it almost looks like
Yeah.
he's waiting to say the but.
Right.
Like he's giving me
okay.
stats saying, okay, I'm gonna say two more and then I'm gonna say shout out to my queen. You know,
Yeah.
and
But it
for
came
him
out
to say
wrong.
specifically,
Yeah.
not like I'm so happy to be, to have a wife
strong
behind me to
wife,
support
right,
me.
exactly.
Like, no, I'm happy
Right.
to have a white wife.
So let's ask this. So let's play devil's advocate.
Yeah, what if he would say my beautiful black queen?
Then he would have said, I'm happy to be supported. My family is here. Shout out to my black queen. And it would have been rolling and it wouldn't have been no issue. But he said, he stopped and said, hey, shout out to all the black people, but I got a white wife.
Proud.
Like, it was just like, what?
I mean,
So-
that's a status symbol. He's on now. That means he got on.
Yikes.
Kanye told y'all that.
So what?
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
Oh, now y'all listen to Kanye?
So what I was gonna ask is, do you feel like he felt the need to say that to be accepted by that conglomerate as a whole?
For that community, for him to not get his house burned down that weekend. I mean, you have to realize where he is. Let's be honest. There is likely a lot of pockets of segregation still taking place in the area. Maybe to keep the white cloaks back. I mean, I don't know.
You making North Carolina sound like 1950, bro.
I'm sure there's pockets just like there is here in Maryland, but it was very deliberate.
Yeah, it sounded like
I agree.
It was not organic.
It almost sounds like someone said, "Hey, they're gonna ask about your wife," and he beat them to it, and that's the impression I got. Like, oh, here's the answer, but no one asked. Like, it wasn't. They didn't bring the question up. No one asked them. So
Let me. So. All right, we're just gonna move on from that. That is what it is.
are you not proud?
So let me ask you this. You're a realtor, right?
I am indeed.
You're a realtor. Go ahead and give the people who you are.
What if she?
Yeah,
what if
give-
she
give
don't
them
want
that.
to share that?
Give
I didn't
them
know
that.
that's what we did here, but
but give them that.
hi, my name is Nacy Grigsby, Maryland State Realtor. You can follow me on Instagram at Your Realtor Nacy. Slide into my DMs. I'm always available.
Do you have your MLS number?
I don't know it off the top of my head.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool,
no,
cool.
it's not memorized.
Listen, so let me ask you this.
Licensed and bonded.
So part of being a realtor, right, is or buying a home is home inspections.
Indeed.
Right. So what goes into a home inspection typically?
I didn't know this is where we were going, but
This is about to be the most amazing setup I've ever witnessed. Y'all pay
That was
attention
big.
because this is good. I
that
can
was
see it
good.
coming.
That was good.
Keep going. No, answer his questions, please.
So what goes on into a home inspection?
Yeah.
So you have a home inspection is conducted after your home goes under contract. So meaning you have extended an offer on a property, your offer is accepted, you are currently under contract. The very next immediate step, which usually happens within the next 2 to 4 business days, is a home inspection. A home inspector comes into your home. They walk your property.
Now, do you have to be there?
You should, right?
So usually the buyer is present with the home inspector. The sellers, they can be there, but it's awkward. And so most agents will say, no, go ahead and leave the property for 2 hours, go out, have a lunch with the family, whatever. And the buyer and the buyer's agent accompany the home inspector on the property.
Now, what's interesting about what you just said is that I didn't hear you say Elmo.
No, not at all.
What?
Right.
No, not at all.
Why? I didn't hear you mention. So you didn't mention Elmo.
I did not mention
So Elmo is not a part of a home inspection.
Not at all.
All
No.
right.
No, not at all.
What?
So in Michigan, and you can't make this stuff up. Kevin Wayne Van Loven.
Mr. Levin.
Van Loven.
Okay, Mr. Van Loven.
That's
Not Mick Love, not to be mistaken.
not
with
to be
Mick Love,
mistaken with Mick Loven.
the legend.
59 years old. He's a home inspector in Michigan. And as he's inspecting this home, he notices that there's a Tickle Me Elmo doll in the corner. And something about this doll, what? I don't even know how to say
Causes
this.
him to
Stimulated Mr. Van Loven. And Mr. Van Loven decided to...
I hate it. I gotta go.
He decided to consummate the I don't know how to say it. Is that the right word? Yes. Yeah. Okay, that's the right word. Consummate the inspection
Is that
with Elmo.
he inspected the Elmo?
Yeah, or Elmo inspected him.
yikes.
And so the homeowners have a nanny cam that caught this.
Wait, I was gonna say wait. So back up.
Yeah.
you got to tell the people that haven't looked at this story. We might just drop the link too, just for you guys to know. So this gentleman is inspecting the home and has gone into the baby's room.
Right.
And picks up the Tickle Me Elmo doll while in the child's bedroom.
Yeah.
Please proceed.
Right. So, well, I mean, I don't know if there's much to say after that.
So he consummated.
Consummated the home inspection. Now, let's be clear. No one was there but him. There was nobody else in the house but him.
Right.
And so on the nanny cam, they witnessed this act. And when you watch the video, you see his...
Oh, there's video.
Yeah, so you see him in the closet and...
He laying it down. He getting busy.
He's inspecting. And yeah, it's super awkward. And then to hear the Oakland County Sheriff describe the act,
He was disgusted.
He was disgusted. He was utterly disgusted and couldn't get his words together or anything like that.
That's crazy. So is he a redhead?
This is too much going on.
So Mr. Van Loven was charged with aggravated indecent exposure and malicious destruction of property.
Oh, I bet.
Now the
I bet.
the question is, I'm not gonna do that.
Don't do that because I know where you're going with that. Yes, it gets replaced. So fun fact, what did we learn here? What did we learn here?
Nothing.
Outside of the fact that we learned that Dirty Diana is your realtor Nacy on Instagram, we also learned that during a home inspection, someone needs to be present outside of just the home inspector.
Right.
It is usually the buyer's agent and or the buyer.
Can you dispute that on your credit card, like the charge?
Yo.
I'm just saying, because clearly you're going to need your money back, right?
Yeah, the home clearly wasn't inspected.
Yeah.
The home clearly wasn't
And
inspected.
do you think, did he write a report up afterwards?
Oh, yeah, of course he did.
Okay.
Because it wasn't until the video was reviewed and released. So, yeah.
All right. So with that being said, let's get into these comments.
I'm like, where is this going?
Everybody be wild.
Let's get into these comments. So
Yikes. They're
going back
super wild.
From Hofax, Miss Octavia said it was refreshing seeing men talk about the need to be vulnerable. As always, great job. Let's give it up for him.
So what was going on in Hofax?
Oh, Hofax, we talked about the number.
Got it.
Right.
You had a person,
Got it.
right? One. I don't want.
So we just pretend.
I don't
okay.
want to say it again, but yeah, you had a person. She slept.
A
He or
certain
she
age.
slept with
Got you.
one person a year.
I
from
think that was the
16.
episode I got really defensive
Yeah,
about.
now they're 30, and that's at least 15 bodies.
Right.
It's too much.
Right.
But the punchline was, well, what if they had a bad year?
Next comment. Next comment.
All right. From our Thank Me Now episode, we had Rex Barr.
Yeah.
He left a comment that some may find controversial.
Okay,
I
let's
think
hear it.
I think there's people who can have opinions one way or the other.
Yeah.
Right. I feel like there actually is too much support of quote unquote black business, and not enough support for businesses that help black people. Love the show. Can't wait.
Okay.
Right. So so initially when you hear it, right, I guess maybe you would be caught off guard, right?
I would need him to walk that down a little bit, but
the second part, right? I think there's legs to that, right?
Okay.
How much research do we do as it relates to companies and their interaction with the black community?
Right.
Now you can be front facing and say, "Hey, I support the black community. I support minorities, etc."
Right.
But do your business practices follow that?
Right.
And I don't think enough of us. Well, I don't want to say what people are doing. I know I'm not doing that level of research.
Right.
Right. Unless I'm just in a fit of like, I'm really focused on like making sure that I know what's going on with my money.
Okay.
Right. But I would say, generally speaking, I don't think I invest time in that. Would you say?
Yeah, I don't. And thinking through his comments, maybe another layer to that could potentially be, right, you have two approaches, right? You have a black business,
right,
that maybe only funds and hires one person, right? So that helps one person, but you have a white corporation or white business that potentially hires 7
right,
black people, right? So yeah, you're supporting a non-black business, but they are feeding or helping feed 7 black families. So which has the bigger impact, right? So I mean,
right,
yeah,
and that's all perception.
maybe,
at that point, right?
That's again, I'm trying to analyze his comments, but
yeah, but no, I think that's a great comment because that's what comments are designed to do, right?
Yeah.
Comments are designed to spark conversation, right?
Yeah.
And as I'm going through these comments, I got a little distracted. The shooter.
oh, this guy.
So I missed it. I missed it earlier. And so I'm sure he's gonna.
yeah,
because typical, right? He's gonna put his name or something.
He's
like that.
such a
It's getting out of control.
It's been out of control.
And the thing is that you guys have no idea why we keep stopping to do this part of the show.
Give my man some room.
I understand. I understand. So we were talking.
No.
We were talking about it basically being what summer, and
approaching.
Right, summer's approaching and working out and things like that. And we're having a health conversation.
We were indeed having just a basic conversation.
A health conversation.
Yeah.
And somehow or another, this turns into, well, I'm going to take my jacket off.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Right?
his thing.
That's his thing, right? Yeah. And he proceeded to do 10 push-ups in the studio.
Yeah.
In a wife beater.
Unprovoked. Unprovoked.
Weird.
And then
While applying chapstick.
well, no. Then he gets up and he applies his chapstick, right? And what
After he
what
licked his lips.
What
balm.
he said was
Lip balm.
What he said was, and I quote, "Come on, man, I got to put my lips on."
Yeah. Thought talk.
What else would you call that?
What size was that wife beater?
So
facts.
What size was that white beater he had?
So for those that aren't familiar, he doesn't just use lip balm, right? Some of you are buying your chapstick obviously from like the
I'm getting the blue tube joint
chapstick
or the Blistex joint.
right?
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
That you put your finger in?
Yeah.
Oh no, you can't get the finger.
So what do you use?
You gotta get a stick. Well, I mean, I don't I don't use chapstick because I'm a female.
So then how could, if you
gloss
don't,
or
why would I
something.
take advice from someone who doesn't use chapstick?
Because your hands are dirty. You can't be dipping your finger in a pot and put it on your mouth. You just got to use the stick.
And you think that's the worst thing I put in my mouth?
This is a family show, sir. Let's direct this.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
Come on.
Listen, so normally y'all are clearly buying your, and when I say y'all is the viewing public, are buying your chapstick.
From the gum section.
Well, no, like as you're leaving whatever store you're in.
Yeah, the gum.
You
Where
see
the
him?
gum
You
is
see
at.
him? Look at them. They're
Right.
all licking their lips. Right
Yeah,
now.
so
dry ass
Can you
lips.
just add a headshot of Mr. Lionel here at the bottom?
So I asked him.
Lick your lips. I see you.
So I asked him to hand me his chapstick here, and I don't. Do you want to?
You want to zoom in on that?
He's not going to zoom in. Oh, he doesn't want to zoom in.
He wants to
'cause
zoom
He's
in.
got an attitude. He's got an
Turn
attitude.
it around so we can get the label and the flavor.
And they're not sponsoring us,
Yeah,
by the
don't,
way.
don't give him
but-
too much press.
Okay.
All right. All right.
Is that green apple?
So with that being said,
Why is it lime green?
I'm going to read this to you because this is important. Dr. Bronner's Lemon Lime Organic Lip Balm.
Okay. Look at him. Look at him.
And look how he's standing. Yeah, like I see he's doing the LL thing, which is making me extremely
He said, but
uncomfortable.
his lips ain't chapped. So
So
Why are y'all like this?
so I guess the moral of the story is shooters gonna shoot because this appears to be an
it's a
ongoing
shooter
thing.
summer.
Yeah,
It's a shooter summer.
Now back to these comments. And I'm sure again he's still gonna put it. He's gonna put his name down there. So my man Chuck left a comment saying
Why
that
it always got to be your man? We get it. We know that's your man, dog. Nobody care.
so he said he's
That's my man now.
He said he's the FaceTime king, and that's based off of a parental advisory,
Y'all be FaceTime?
right? So we
Y'all FaceTime?
yeah, that's my guy. Yeah, that's my guy.
Okay.
not in the bathroom though.
Most certainly not. Right. So what are your thoughts on FaceTiming now? Now that you've been advised as to what not to do.
I haven't had any violations recently. No tummy time on FaceTime.
Right.
No bathroom FaceTime. Yeah, you want to tell them about Beater Boys?
Huh?
Nah, that's too that's too personal. Yeah, but yeah, no FaceTime violations over here.
Yeah,
man.
so on that note, man, our man Shah S said, you gotta definitely let folks know about the FaceTime felonies and misdemeanors.
yeah, exactly right.
Don't FaceTime me with your hand behind your head.
That's hilarious. Yeah, that's funny right there. Nah, that's a good one.
Yeah, that is funny. Absolutely. Hey, listen, we enjoy all the comments. As you can see, man, it definitely gives us legs. So please keep those coming. Let's give it up for the fans.
Shout out to
Our partners in pod for sure.
Yikes.
Yeah.
I'm about to start FaceTiming like that. It was good, bro.
Hey, so you wanted to bring up something that we all recently just did, right? You
Oh
wanted to
yeah. Shout out to traveling.
Oh yeah.
I recently had a travel experience. I went to the hotbed of the U.S.
Hot boy summer.
Yeah, I was on my little thought vibes. You know what I'm saying? Had the nips out. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Drop the top, let
Nips
the
out,
titties
tips
out.
out.
You know?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We just lost like 2 spots just right there. But yeah, I flew to Florida and did the
So let's talk about that, right? So
Yeah.
what's the experience in the airports now?
I will say this. So I flew out of a relatively small airport. So
Spirit.
airport. But I didn't fly Spirit. Thank you. I'm a little bit classier than that. I flew Southwest. Okay, the Greyhound of the sky.
Free peanuts.
Hey, but look, if they still want to sponsor us,
Right,
we're still
right.
Yeah, let's
Shout out
not-
to Southwest.
Spirit is like Peter Pan, and then like Greyhound is Southwest, where you got to fight to get your seat.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's rough. That's my seat. Ain't no assigned seats, but yeah, I mean, getting through the airport was pretty much a breeze. I have pre-check. Some of us can live a little.
Splurge.
Yeah, splurged a little bit with
Okay.
the pre-check. so I didn't have to take my shoes off. It's, small things, small wins. But yeah, getting through the airport was pretty cool. I think it's a little bit more relaxed due to COVID. Like people TSA agents are less willing to do that rub down. I used to get that joint every time I travel. It's like, bruh, come on. Like, you think I got cocaine here? Right? Like, relax.
That's where it would be. That's where it would
be. And it's like the old white dude, and he's like, yeah, you.
Your fingers.
And I hate being me.
You know what his name is? Kevin Van Loven.
Why did you use those?
Because that's how no. And I know he's talking to me,
right?
But I had it like the AirPod in the song. Right. He's like, big guy, yeah. And I'm looking around. No, I'm the big guy.
Let him know. Let him know what it looks like.
Big guy, come here. I got you. No. Deborah, relax. I got him.
And you know what? And your AirPods happen to be playing Pandora R&B, 90s R&B.
It's bad.
So it's a super intimate situation is what you're saying.
So I was able to avoid that this time.
Okay.
I kind of missed it, not going to lie. But I slid through there. Other people don't respect your space though. The 6 feet rule doesn't apply like in the seating area. Yeah. So it's like, you on top
you're
of
even
each
seeing
other.
that in the grocery stores and stuff now. Like that whole,
that's out the window.
Yeah.
And then there's the constant reminder. I think it's frustrating for the flight staff, right? Because it's weird, right? Because obviously the mask mandate is in there. So the front counter is, consistently telling people you have to keep your mask on, unless you're eating or drinking, right? But then there's like 20 people just doing this. Like so that their mask can be down, you know what I mean? So it was kind of like people that's out the door. But outside of that, it was cool. Getting on the flight was a little uncomfortable because again, there's still no space on that joint. You do have to keep your mask on the flight. But outside of that, it was regular. It didn't feel safer, but I also didn't feel like I was at risk. Like I didn't see the enhanced safety protocols or anything like that.
And that's what I was going to say. There's only so much you can do, right? Unless you're willing to have the plane at half, if not a third or a fourth capacity.
Right.
There's just not much you can do other than take every precaution that you can and just kind of hope for the best, right?
And the whole sanitize the plane down, that's all BS, right? Because
well, let's not say that. I mean,
well, there's some level of skepticism that I have. How about that?
Okay.
I'll say it like as if I'm Lee. That's bullshit. Anyway, because the plane that we were getting on it came in late.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. I see where you're going with that. Right. The turnaround.
Yeah, the turnaround time was 7 minutes, right? They unboarded and then the last person got off.
Well,
unloaded.
Fancy guy. It's not unloading. It's deboarding.
Deboarding. I said unboarded. Unboarded. Deboarded.
Yeah. Let's keep unboarding.
Unboarded. They
put that. Yeah, let's get unboarded right there.
They got off the plane. They offboarded. Offboarded. They got off the plane, and then literally, they may have checked the seat to see if somebody left a bag, and we were right onto the plane once the last person got off. So. Yeah, there was no sanitizing or any of that type of stuff happening. So, but ultimately, I came back safe. COVID test negative, so I'm good.
Okay, good way to take the test after. Okay, it's a good follow-up.
So you had an experience, right? So you took a plane, and you decided to take a
train.
Okay, take a train. And
take a train.
So what was that experience like?
Actually, really nice. We had travel that we had to take for family reasons, and we were just going up to New York. So we decided to train it. It's like 3.5 hours or something like that. And because we knew things were probably going to be a little bit more relaxed, we actually opted to take business class on the train.
Oh, money.
Most people don't pay that, the extra money to buy
Damn, y'all
business
stunting
class.
today. Yeah.
So we did.
Most people.
Well, because
do your thing.
Go ahead.
Do your
there's
thing.
probably 200 people on the train.
And there was only 3 of you in business class.
Exactly. Me, my partner, and another woman.
So you could have bought Coach and walked into business class. Probably what the other lady did.
Well, so I did notice that. So I've taken the train previously and sat rather regular.
Sat
Like
what?
peasants.
Sat in a regular car.
Where you losers
a regular train car. They
Cash.
come all the time.
We
Every
need to
time you
cha-ching.
make a stop, they come
We
every
do.
single time.
To check your ticket?
Yeah.
Hold on. I don't want people to get caught up in the image that you're portraying. We still should put our Cash App somewhere.
Struggling artists.
Yeah, we're still
Don't
struggling
forget.
artists.
Don't forget.
Because every time she goes on this, I think
Yeah.
people feel like, yeah,
They good.
yeah. But please continue.
No, you got money.
Your
We
man
don't.
just flew to Florida.
Whoa, coach. On
Spirit.
on a Greyhound bus. Like, relax.
And I took a train. So we're
In
being
business class.
You had your own car.
Yeah.
not my fault. I was working on the safety aspect. So
Okay,
yes,
fair
that's why
enough.
we took business. And for that reason, it was literally me, my partner, and another white woman that only did half of the ride.
Okay.
Hubie Davis wife.
Right, Ms. Davis was going halfway to
Were you proud to be in a car with her?
Yikes. But it was, I think I actually got some shot of it on IG. It was very clean.
Okay.
You could smell the whatever they used before we got on.
Can I ask you a question? Did you assume that people don't smell with their noses?
Oh, because she pointed.
Because I just noticed that she just pointed
next
to
topic.
it.
Next topic. Next
Let's make
topic.
sure we get that.
Next topic.
So I also, it's kind of interesting, right? So I also decided to take a trip myself.
A lot of traveling.
Yeah, so I decided to drive actually, which I haven't done in forever because I've been like so against it. Like when I was younger, those 12-hour trips, nothing, right? It was easy to knock those out in one shot actually, right? But you know, as you get older, you're like, man, I don't have it. I don't have the energy in me. And then you
Where'd
know,
you drive to? How long was the drive?
about 5-6 hours, right?
Easy.
Maybe.
Not when you decided 15 years ago that you were no longer going to do it, you know, so to jump out there and do it. But it actually ended up being a very enjoyable trip that way. I felt comfortable. I felt more comfortable with that aspect because I felt more in control of again, the safety aspect.
Yeah.
So, and then it just caused you to kind of bond with the people you in the car with.
Yeah, that's
you know,
true.
so I mean, again, man, to hear your kids and when they grow up, to hear the conversations, not even that they have with you, with themselves, right? So my daughter being, you know, the general of the family, right? Like she's explaining like life to her brother. And I don't interject, right? I'm like, she got it, right?
She's got all the tools.
Let her guide him, right? So they're asking like, so he'll ask something like, well, why is this that? And she goes into full,
Like, oh, let me come on, kid.
Right, like how don't you know this? You know?
have I taught you nothing?
Right. So it's just interesting to hear those type of things. And then obviously playlists, you know, plays a factor because
right.
you know that.
So were you playing Kids Bop the whole
Oh
ride?
no, I'm one of those parents. No.
Oh, okay.
It's my car.
They gonna hear what you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no.
You better not say a goddamn curse word either.
No. I equip them with their entertainment and their headphones.
Oh, got you.
And then you know,
Yeah.
I vibe out to whatever I need to get through this 6 hours because Kids Bop ain't gonna do it. Because if that's the case, we pulling over and catching a hotel quick. But no, it was a good experience. Even getting down to the hotel, I felt like we were the only ones there. Amazingly enough, right? Because from check in to check out, like I didn't interact with anybody.
Oh, word. Was it like a beach trip? Or
No.
okay.
It was a city trip,
Gotcha.
but still, nonetheless, no interactions with people, and I thought that was amazing. So when you start considering the ramifications of COVID, obviously we wish we never had it. But I'm starting to think there's some aspects that, for me personally, because I am a MySpace person.
Okay, word.
You know, I definitely like my
Yeah,
right?
understood.
That I don't know. I hope that sticks around. Personally, I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I see your perspective. I take it.
Do you still feel the need, or do you feel like your subconscious nature draws you to people still?
Maybe. I think so. I mean, the fact that I went to Florida, I think that I knew what Florida was hitting for. Right. I went
But I
there
mean, like,
because
when
I
you're
thought
out,
it was going to be
right?
popping.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still a people person.
Yeah.
Those who I know, I still play them close. Like, you know, probably closer than I should in this environment at points. But yeah.
Right.
I'm still like that. I mean, yeah, even when we were down there, it it was weird, right? We would go to a popping spot, but wear our masks. So it's like, are you in or are you out, right? I was real.
So being in Florida,
half and
this
half
is a good
with it.
question.
Yeah.
Being in Florida and they're they're 1 foot in, 1 foot out to a degree. Were you the minority wearing your mask?
I 1000% felt. I understand the 7 foot basketball guy or the 4'3" small person.
Okay.
Like everybody was looking at us like, what's wrong with y'all? Like, oh, y'all ain't from around here. Like it was those kind of vibes. Like, y'all know it ain't no COVID down here, right? That's pretty much how they was.
Oh wow.
So we're walking, and then like at some point you're like, well, okay.
I was gonna say, is that the pressure?
Like, and then you see a crowd of people, and you're like, nah, let me get back in. Let me get back in the game. Yeah, you know what I mean. So
Right.
it was kind of weird. We had a few of those moments, but for the most part, I mean, there is no COVID down there. They don't move like that. So,
Yikes.
but yeah, everybody had the chin strap. Face mask for the most part, yeah.
I'll tell you, like you're saying, right? People still need to keep in mind it's not so much about you; it's about the people that you're gonna come in contact with,
Yeah.
right? So I don't know, man. It sounds kind of, I don't know. It sounds preachy for me to say this, but I mean, just again, mind your mask, mind your distance, you know, that type of thing. Because again, it's not just about you; it's about the people you come in contact with.
Let me ask you a question though.
Yeah.
And L, let me get the camera. Let me ask a question. I need to pull a lever real quick. Men, this for the fellas out there.
Oh man.
At what age do you pee out of your zipper hole or your boxer hole?
What?
What age is that? Anybody know? Because part of my Florida experience, I'm going into a bathroom, like a public restroom, and I open the joint. My man, it's a older male. He ain't locked the door. And when I say I saw a grown ass adult male's ass cheeks, and it was frustrating because, like, not even that he made me look at his ass, but the fact that he had his pants and his drawers at his ankles, bro. Like, at what age do you realize like your zipper and your boxer holes serve that purpose? You can even hit the top unbuckle, you know what I'm saying? If you want to jump off the top turnstile. But bruh, we don't need to pull our pants down to our ankles to piss, bro. All right, y'all stay blessed.
Let's give it up for him.
I mean, his whole ass was out, bro. It was, yeah. Like, PSA, man. Pull your pants up.
So just for those of us that don't know what's supposed to happen, so that's not supposed to happen.
Nah, because we're not toddlers anymore.
So that's what you meant when you said like peek through the strap or the opening. Or
I mean, you could come off the top turnbuckle if you wanted. Like, if you wanted the unbuckle and just come off the top, but you don't got a D pants. Is that the right one?
Let's make sure
Unpants.
Make sure we get that.
I was gonna say, because some boxers, so I've purchased a few in my day,
Okay.
don't have the peekaboo hole.
Then you buying the wrong boxes.
Or
Yeah.
I guess boxer briefs.
Nah, they still got the little slit. It's a diagonal joint.
Oh, maybe. Okay.
It's like ooh.
I was gonna say maybe I'm not
Yeah,
looking
slide
deep.
through.
Okay, I'm just on laundry duty. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Not my lane.
Y'all
All right, so
Not my blessed
so
out
so
there.
the moral of the story is
Pull your pants up. It's bad out here, man.
if you're in public, your pants should not drop to your ankles.
Yeah, but first lock the door. Lock the door behind you. There's strangers out here. And then
What did
second,
he say
pull your
when he
pants.
felt the draft from the door opening?
But here's the
did he-
question.
He didn't even go like, oh.
But here's
oh,
the question.
He didn't.
The
He was
same
chilling.
the same way that you're telling this story, he might be telling the story from a different perspective. And then this big black guy walks in.
Like he clearly heard me taking it.
He heard my pants hit the floor.
And I just felt like he was staring at my. Yeah. All right. So so in relationships, right?
Okay.
Good, bad, or otherwise. Right?
Otherwise.
Otherwise. All
Okay.
right. So 5 relationship killers, right?
Okay.
You introduced this topic to me, right?
Yeah,
We were
I brought
talking.
it to the- yeah.
So do we want to? How do we want to approach this? Do we want to name the 5? Or I don't think we should go in like order, right? Do we just want to name the 5 and then just kind of, what are the 5?
Sure.
Yeah, what are the 5?
Yeah, let's do
This is your job as the A mic to run the show.
All right, so
I'm just
all right. I'll name the 5. I'll name the 5, and then we'll go into it, right?
All right.
And real quick, when I say them, tell me if you agree, yes or no, and then we'll come back to it.
Okay.
Pride. Is pride a relationship killer? Yes or no?
No.
Yes.
All right. I'm intrigued. I said I wasn't going to do this, but I'm intrigued. So when you say yes, why do you say yes? How so?
Because if I'll say your pride can get in the way.
In the way of what?
So if you're too prideful in an argument, you're in an argument, you know that you may be wrong, or
I'm
you're
never wrong.
That's pride speaking. For those that need the definition, yes. You're in a relationship and you know you were wrong, and maybe you've admitted, yeah, like, okay, so you was right about that, or yeah, okay. So are you going to apologize, or are you just going to be like, yeah, you got it?
So what does an apology mean?
Right.
An apology means different things for different people. So I don't accept an apology unless you're sharing with me that you understand. Like, what are you apologizing for?
Oh, so I got to go through the whole.
No, you don't have to do a breakdown.
I'm sorry for.
Okay, so let's.
No, it's
right,
just like,
right.
babe, I hear you.
No, that's not what you said.
I hear you.
But that's not. I don't think that's how I heard what you said.
Oh, okay.
You said I need to understand that you understand, right?
How I wronged you.
Right, but that's perception, right?
So kind of, sort of. Only because I'm saying, for me, like the psychology part in me wants to make sure that you know what you're apologizing for, so that we can move past this place. And I know that you understand, so we won't be back here again.
So let me ask this. Is it easier for you to explain the place that you need addressed rather than have someone give you a response that might meet the intent? You see what I'm saying?
As long as you in the ballpark. What I don't want is a blanket apology because you just want things to be better.
Right.
Okay.
Just don't apologize, or just say, 50-50, let's agree to disagree because I don't want to fight. I'd rather you
Are you accepting of that?
So I think
Most times.
so I think that's part of it too, right? Is that so the pride somehow takes on a different angle once the argument has commenced. Right. Because now, is it your pride not allowing the situation to die down, and whatever resolution we need to come to is your pride now? And I'm not saying you, but the other person does the pride shift to where it's like you're now too proud to allow it to be over?
Right.
Is there anything that could satisfy if you're that upset? Is anything going to be good enough? And I don't mean just you, right? Just generally speaking. So I could see how pride could shift in that moment.
So for me, pride is just not a good thing.
Okay.
But the answer to your question is
so
no.
both parties need to drop their pride.
I think when you're in a relationship, you know that pride is something that a lot of people have.
Men. Say it. Say it with your chest.
I don't think that women don't have it. So that I'm just saying that that's not a big thing for me when I'm talking about being in a relationship with someone else. Like, there are things that I know that I stand firm on, but I don't have any problem with apologizing. I don't have any problem with admitting if I'm wrong, like, or in a place of where we're discourse. That's why I said a lot of times we don't necessarily have to apologize. If I can get my partner in a space where we can communicate clearly and he can say, let's just agree to disagree. Or I can say, can we just agree to disagree? Like, I don't want to be arguing about something like this. I can move past that. It's not a problem. If he's not able to, or your partner is not able to, you all have to come to you're at an impasse. And in order for the house to function, you got to get right. So somebody's going to have to take a step back at some point.
Right.
Whether it's the person that's in the right or wrong in order to make it work. And I'm just saying, I don't need to be justified that I'm like right in order for us to move forward.
Well, that's because women are always right. So men have to fight to be right. I'm just telling y'all how it is.
All right, so
We're just gonna agree to disagree because I'm right.
So you said pride was one.
So I think this rolls right into the next one, which is communication.
I don't know. Yes or no? Is this a yes or no?
We'll start with the yes or no.
So you and I answer this one. Let's
Okay.
hear it from a male's perspective. What's your opinion?
Yeah, I would say so. I would have to say so.
I'm also gonna say no, right? Because I am a terrible communicator. Unless someone is such a great communicator that they carry the load for both parties.
I don't think I've ever known a relationship where they have great communication all the time, right? I think communication is definitely one of those like gray areas
But I
because
thought we were saying, like, could it be a killer?
It
like,
could be.
basically,
Yeah.
it's-
I mean,
is
they
it
all.
important?
It can
Obviously,
be.
they
Yeah,
all
absolutely
can be
it can
for
be.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm being, Earl about it. But yes, obviously it can be.
But no, but then giving context as to why. So why can't it be a killer?
I mean,
Yeah. Why would you say no? Your initial response was no. So why did you say
well,
that?
just because, like I said, I think it personally, I am a bad communicator, especially in relationships, right? But my partner is very good at it, so she carries that load for both of us, right? Like, often tells me about my feelings when I don't care about my feelings, right? Well, and that's like a man thing, that's a pride thing, because nobody really gives a poop about a man's feelings. Like, let's be for real. Yeah. Like, and that in itself is frustrating when women pretend to care about how you feel.
I know
Like,
you're
you
being
what I mean?
funny, but you don't really believe
Do
it.
you care about my feelings?
Well, I don't.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
no one cares about how men feel.
Yeah.
No one. Men don't even care about, like, I don't even care how I feel.
Wait. Okay. You're responding with your facial expression, so you disagree.
I care about my partner's feelings.
That's a lie.
I do.
I took everything out.
Beyond yours?
Absolutely not.
And you know how I'm asking that, right? So
Yeah,
in
I
a
know.
moment,
That's why I'm trying to
Right.
think. Like, that's why
in a
I
moment
said,
where
I think,
you're both clearly feeling,
yes.
do you stop to say, let me address his feelings first?
I do. That's why I feel like
Okay.
sometimes
God,
I'm the unicorn person.
that is I don't.
I
believe it.
honestly feel that way. And we could do a call up right now.
Ma'am,
I am usually the person.
respectfully, I disagree.
See, that's if you could be a fly on the wall at my house, you can call my husband right now because we.
If I was a fly on that wall, y'all would swat me because I'd be like, bullshit.
No, because honestly, a lot of times it's like he's sharing his side, and I'm like, okay, hold on. If you're gonna say I did all that, at least call it what it is, right? Like,
Right.
that's what I did, but I also, and then it's like, okay. So I'm like, I'm hearing what you're saying. I'm
Yeah.
not negating what you're saying.
Right.
I received that.
But
Right.
I received that. In addition, I never say but. 'Cause
somebody
but
taught me
negates
that
everything that you say before.
a few years ago. Yeah, someone
Right.
taught me that.
In addition to what you're saying, in turn, this is how that made me feel. So do you understand why I may have reacted that way or I may have responded that way? So for me, it's more of like a conversation. Only when he shuts down, when his pride gets in the way, does it turn into a bigger
So
situation.
you're gonna tell him?
I was
how
about
you
to
feel about his pride.
say, okay. So listen, so I think what makes it interesting from a communication standpoint is there's one thing that you can never quite put a handle on is intent,
Yes.
right? So when
Agreed.
you're talking to somebody, it's hard, if not damn near impossible to gauge intent.
Yeah.
Right. So as I was listening to you describe the scenario that you were describing, the one thing I was thinking was, well, what was the intent of the person when they said whatever they said or did whatever they did? And I can explain it to you, but if you're not in the space to receive it the way that I'm explaining it to you, then
that's real.
it's all for nothing. And you end up more times than not arguing intent rather than the actual like argument that you know that you're actually having.
Yeah.
Right? Would you agree with that?
No, I can hear that. I received that.
All right. So
Stealing that.
So this one I think is easy. I think sex life. Can your
Yes.
sex life
Yes.
or can sex be a relationship killer?
Yes.
It can be
1,000%.
See, you were no, and now you're 1,000. You didn't just.
I need to hear the response as to why.
Hey.
Oh, actually, no, I'm going to keep no, so I could keep offering an alternative perspective.
No, because I.
Nah, you said yes,
yet.
and you went to 1,000%. So yeah, how so?
So tell me why.
All right, so my answer that I'm giving is for the no.
No, you have to give a yes.
I mean,
answer.
You said
yes,
1,000%.
It's obvious.
Yeah.
Yes, it's obvious, right? Like, we've had conversations offline, right, the fellas, and it's like, it's almost too simple. I'm gonna quote someone, but they were like, I've been frustrated. I had an attitude all week or whatever the case is, and I hadn't, we hadn't engaged in sex or whatever with your partner, and they'd be like, it's almost like it can't be that simple, right? But the moment you have sex and you release that energy, it's like, oh man.
I laugh because it does sound so simple, yet I'm sure there's a scientific,
like it's like men can't
explanation.
It can't be that, and this is strictly a man thing, because I feel like women can go weeks, months, and be like, no, like I'm cool. But like a man, if I go 3.5, 4 days, I got an attitude at work. I'm not, I'm not.
Are
Not
you,
your wife,
hold on, are you
just
saying yourself?
Yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah, like if it's 4 days, I'm like, oh, you don't like me no more?
Pissed.
You know what I'm saying? Well, we don't go together.
Hold on, how do you
not my wife?
So how does? And I don't want to be too specific, but how does someone approach that conversation?
I mean, it's multiple ways, right?
Is it really a conversation?
Well, you tell me.
Yeah, it sounded like rape right there.
Whoa,
that was aggressive. What do you mean? Is it a conversation? Yes.
I mean, I think that
It's my body, my choice,
Blink
Nancy.
twice. Blink
Yeah,
twice.
Jesus Christ.
Blink
Is he okay?
If you're married, it's not.
Oh God.
No, okay, we can't say that. On
that's
air.
always been, I guess, the playful, lifelong conversation, right? Like, I mean.
No, it can definitely be the word we're not saying.
Yeah. No, I don't mean it like that. I'm just saying like playfully, right? Like what's yours is mine.
Right.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I'm saying playfully,
Nah,
right?
yeah.
In a
Just
playful
because you
way.
say respectfully doesn't mean it's
It
respectful.
doesn't make it okay. It doesn't make
And
it
just
okay.
because you say playfully.
I'm only adding when it's done in a tasteful, playful manner. By the way, but how do you approach that? Not you, but how does a person approach?
How does a person? I think when I made the comment and I said, "Oh, some things don't have to be talked about." If I'm hoping to engage in an intimate evening, I'm not asking my partner.
Yeah, but women have that. You have that ability, right? Like men have to essentially ask, right?
With words.
Well, no, you're saying you're not asking your partner either. I mean, sometimes we use words, sometimes we use gestures, or
Yeah, it's more gesturally, but sometimes it's not gesture. It's just.
But women don't get turned down.
Yeah.
So here's the thing.
Right.
Here's the thing. Y'all are doing exactly what I was hoping would happen.
Yeah.
Is sex is not the easiest conversation to talk about, even with someone that you've been with for years. Right. Like
it's weird as that sounds, right?
Doesn't it? Right. So going back to the communication piece, right? Like you would think
no one likes rejection. I think it's like.
I think that's a huge part of it.
Yeah.
Right. But it's amazing how, like you referenced, if we're all just sitting around the guys, there's a conversation that occurs.
That's way more candid,
more
with
and
your
direct
spouse.
But then you get in the room with whomever you're with, and those conversations never reach those levels, right? Or rarely.
Why is that?
That's a great, and that's why that's what we're asking. Why is that?
And then now you may not have done it on purpose, right? But you're treading into a different part of the sex conversation, right? Because one is the act of, right, initiating, getting there, but then because that was a very broad question, right? Sex life. If it's bad, you see them look, see, right? Then that's a whole new conversation, right? Because again, one of those candid conversations that men have is like, after you've been, I jokingly said, like, after you've been with somebody for a while, like, you I know the tricks, right? So the magic show isn't so magical, right? So how do you continue that path, right?
Exciting.
And I jokingly say to Lee one day,
the thoughts of Earlington Agustas the Great are not a reflection of 3ThePodWay. Send all your hate mail.
So I jokingly say, like I said to Lee one day, like I seen my wife, I'm like, man, I'm gonna run down on that joint like I don't know her. You know what I'm saying? Like she a stranger. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because back in the day, you see a joint, you know what I mean? You want to impress her.
You gonna try
and you
extra.
like, man, yeah. So it's like I'm gonna run down on her.
So
like
question
she a
to
stranger.
that. So let's take the other angle. So do women
like a little strange?
No, well that and do women think to reinvent themselves while in a relationship?
If they know what's good for them, they will.
Okay.
Talk that talk.
Yeah.
Say it a little louder. I couldn't hear you.
Well,
my headphones went out.
So your response was so words have meanings, right? You said if they know what's good for them, they will. So what made you say that specifically?
For all the reasons why you don't have those conversations in the room with your significant other.
Right.
Because you're thinking about rejection. You're thinking about the what if. And no matter how long you are in a relationship with someone, you shouldn't rest on the morals of like, oh, we've been together for such a long time. Like, no, like it took that work to get her.
Right.
It's going to take even more work in which to keep her, because the nigga that pump her gas up the street knows that she comes every Tuesday at 5, like clockwork. And one of these days he's going to shoot his shot when he see you not in the car.
Wait, how did this transition from if she knew what was good for her to you being about what the men aren't doing? You see how women work, yo? That's that's violent.
So let me. So
you woke up choosing violence.
Keep it fresh. How saying it?
Yeah. So what does Jerome at the gas station got to do with you busting out the new moves to keep it fresh?
I thought you were pointing it to me.
That's what women do. See, that's what women do. Women, y'all, wicked.
Pointing it to me.
Wicked.
Okay, so sorry. We have to keep it fresh for the same reasons, because we know you looking elsewhere. Your entertainment is going to the titty club. Whoa. I gotta make sure that you know
yours
what's
is going to the gas
back.
station every 2 weeks. All right, got it.
To see Maurice pumping diesel with his sleeves up. That's my enjoyment.
Maurice.
So
that's hilarious.
So that also brought another caveat to the conversation, which is how often are likes discussed, right? Because if you meet somebody at, let's just say 25.
Right.
Are there triggers and the things that they like the same at 34, 35? And when does that conversation ever come up?
Yeah.
In therapy.
Right. Nah, real talk.
I just don't think people enter those conversations.
Nah.
Yeah.
And then back to your point about rejection, right? Maybe that's because you don't want to hear something that you don't subscribe to, right? Because now that's another conversation. Because now I'm hearing that you're into something that I don't subscribe to and that I can't give you.
And back to that stranger thing, right? You potentially more willing to try something new with a new person, right? Because you have the option to not see them again, right? If I get rejected, I realize I'm into something that you're not. I got to sleep next to you every night. And now you know my secrets, right?
Right.
I never thought about that.
And it's like, how do I?
And you're embarrassed.
How do I let you? Yeah. How do I? What's the amount of time that you forget that I'm into that? You know what I mean?
Right.
And I can never approach that topic again.
So that's a communication. How do you introduce the new thing you're into?
Right. And it may not. And it may be something you saw and you're like, I want to try that, right? But how do you bring that up?
Right. Like something as casual as
a threesome,
sticking a thumb in a butt,
eating ass,
licking toes with hot sauce.
I was actually gonna say like porn.
Oh
yeah, I was gonna say like I'm sure most couples don't have the let's watch porn together conversation, but.
No, they just do it.
Yeah,
but
you don't have a porn subscription.
Ask, you just turn it on.
Yeah, and I thought I told y'all the best porn is on Twitter anyway.
All right, so the next one on here, I think
Lee, you're doing exactly what we have to be able to communicate.
Lee, tell us what you're feeling. What you're feeling right
Tell
now.
us how you feel. Let's communicate.
Uncomfortable. In a word, let's get uncomfortable down there. I think this one's pretty straightforward, right? Infidelity, relationship killer.
Yeah. No, it's not.
It's not a relationship killer.
No, it's a roadblock. 1,000%.
Would you feel like that's a male perspective?
No,
what you're saying?
I think that's a female's perspective.
Okay.
That's a male's perspective who's deeply invested. I think I'm gonna say something that's unpopular, right? I think men, like culture and bravado, if that's the word, have taught us to, like, you know, we can't take pain and we can't deal with it and we shouldn't deal with it, right? But you have a person, I like when I do this, 10, 15 years into a marriage.
Okay.
You got 3 kids, a house, 3 cars, a dog. You know, y'all go to cookouts every year. Y'all got vacations planned. Your partner steps out. Yeah, it's gonna mess you up. There are obviously reasons behind your partner stepping out, but you have everything with this person, right? Like, how easy is it for you to leave? Like, most dudes gonna be like, I'm out of there, man. You stupid. No, you leave.
Okay.
I don't know
Okay,
if it's that easy, right?
Okay. So he spoke from a male's perspective on that, and obviously he referenced a female's potential perspective. Like, what do you say to that?
Yeah, I think females are more inclined to stay.
Yeah.
It's
And why is that?
for all the reasons that were shared. You know, we're thinking of the full picture. Our pride doesn't tend to get in the way. I think if a gentleman this is a generalization.
Right.
PSA, it's a generalization. If a gentleman is stepped out on, it's usually after he has already committed the infidelity. That's the only reason why he would stay, is if he's like, okay, she one up me. So
Right. Okay. That's
but if a
true. I
woman
think
is
that's true.
tripping on him first, he out of there. His pride can't take it. Even if nobody else found out about it, even if the person she did it with 18 countries away, he ain't rolling with that.
And so that ties back into the pride part.
Yes.
Right? Because now your pride is in the way, and you're saying that you can't deal with the fact that
I've been with another person, because in your mind, I've just been yours.
right.
Irregardless of the 15 years, a person
Right,
a year
the 15
situation,
bodies
I've
before
only
me.
been yours.
Right.
But I think in regards to how, you know, feeling as a female in regards to infidelity, you just kind of took a piece of me away. So like, I don't love you as deep anymore. I still love you and I still have love for you, but I don't love you as deep anymore.
Right.
So it's just what it is.
But does that natural erosion of feeling, does that erosion of feelings happen? I want to say anyway. I'm trying to stay away from saying anyway, but
right.
But
As time goes on, you lose that.
maybe not to the same degree, right? And maybe not as explosive, but does that happen anyway?
Well, two things. Let me double back and say I agree with Nacy. I say when my scenario that I provided, right, that's not to say that it can't cause problems in a relationship.
Right.
Open the door for the man to feel like, well, you know, now I got a green light or something like that.
Right.
So that I'll put a button on it there, right? But yes, it can cause erosion, and I think just naturally as you grow in a relationship, right? Terrible analogy, but I'm going to use it anyway, right? You have a brand new car, that's your relationship. As time goes on, you know, when you first got your car, you wash it every day, you take it to the car wash, nobody can eat in your car. You got to take your shoes off when you get in my car. As time goes on, those protocols go out the window a little bit, right? Little by little. The thing is, you have to find new ways or new parts of your partner to love, right? Or to like, or to enjoy, right?
Okay.
So now you throw some new rims on the car.
Right.
You give it a new paint job. You know what I'm saying? You throw some tint on the joint. So you have to keep finding ways to
Is that
improve.
a tummy tuck and titties?
Hey, whatever you call your paint job, If you get it done in the DR or Miami, wherever it's done, just get the new candy paint on there. You know what I'm saying? And again, terrible analogy, but that's how I think of that.
So it's very interesting that you say that, right? So I think that, again, and mind you, we didn't draw this up this way, but this is how it worked out. The fifth one of time. What we talk about investing a lot, right? We talk about our personal investments into maybe getting physically fit, right? Maybe getting your mental health together. We talk about time as it relates to your career, doing something professional,
being an entrepreneur.
But yet the time conversation relative to your relationship, that rarely gets spoken about, right? And how important is time? I would say it's monumental, right? And you don't realize how, especially when kids begin to enter the picture, you don't realize it until you're separated from your children and you're in your moment. Yeah. Right? Like with whoever you're with, right? And it's just you two. Nothing else is going on. It's just you two. Right. And then how that actually feels in the relationship, right? It's just different. And it makes you think about, well, how do I recreate this even when we're back amongst our everyday lives? Work is happening, family's happening. How do we still find time to just have time? Which is difficult because I mean, you're adults now and you're adulting, right? Right. Yeah, and it's not always easy.
I see what you did there.
I appreciate that. So I'm going to say, from a female's perspective and understanding we're juggling exactly the same things. Sometimes it's not even, we know that we can't always get the time that we desire. Right. And sometimes the only time that we're getting is pillow talk time as we're falling to sleep.
Right.
But
while you on the phone, while you on Instagram.
But in that moment, are you taking advantage of the little windows that present themselves?
So that's what I was going to say. But I'm talking about if I'm in the kitchen hustling, preparing this meal before dinner, are you coming over to give me a little tap just to let me know that you see me and what I got going on, right? Like it's not even a full engagement.
So let's ask, what do those things mean? Because a man doesn't know, right? These are things that men don't know, right? So what does that mean? What does that gesture mean?
It means, hey, little mama, like,
no, I'm sorry, not what it. How is it taken? How is it received?
It is very well received.
Yeah.
Though it may not be spoken about, or there may not be a physical reaction to it,
it's gonna be a physical reaction. You may just not be able to see it, or anybody else. It's gonna be a physical reaction. But are those things? I will tell you from a female perspective. Ask your significant other. We don't necessarily need physical intimacy. We just need to know that you care. A little neck kiss while you happen to walk past us. You're not stopping. We're not doing a whole 10-minute situation. A forehead kiss as we're walking out the door or you're going to work. A little tap on the butt while you're headed to the sink and I'm at the stove. Like, it's not a whole situation. It's just you continuing to let me know that you see me.
So let me ask this. Is it different? Let's say that happened, and I'll give you two ways of it occurring. One, you said, do this. The other, unprovoked. What is the feeling? Is the feeling the same? No. So if you have to say it, that lessens it.
Yeah. If I gotta tell you what to do, that means you ain't thinking about doing it.
So where I was going with that, glad you walked into that water, is the fact that men, being the creatures we are, we don't talk. We are known for not talking and expressing our feelings, and that steps over into like desires, right? I can't say all men, but I think a lot of men fall into that category.
But y'all used to slap our butts before the butts used to be yours.
Interesting how that works, right?
Yeah.
but my question is, you just threw me off by saying that. I had a whole question. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Now we got to transition.
So all right. I got you. That's what we're here for, right? A few things about the time conversation, right? Like spending time,
all right.
I think that's what we're talking about. But then again, trying to, add a new aspect to it, a new perspective, right? The risk of time, like being together for a while. I know we kind of touched on it previously, right? But you run the risk of your significant other being your roommate, right? And that's almost the worst thing for a relationship.
I'm glad
right?
you said that, because now I'm back.
You back? See how I did that?
So courting.
You're welcome.
So courting, right? So the smacking on the ass, kissing on the neck, and whatever females do to kind of let the guy know.
Like jiggle my nuts a little bit or something.
Yep.
Okay.
Like courting, right? And I know that's an old school word to use, but it's like I don't know what the updated word for it would be. But how do you generate that? Because you know this person.
Again.
Yeah, you know this person in and out, right? So how do you put yourself in the mindset of, I need to, right? I need to address.
I guess that I don't understand. How do you not?
I mean, you get comfortable.
Let me ask you a question. I'm saying this in a weird way. If you see Michael Jordan in a basketball jersey, what do you take him as?
A basketball player.
All right.
Someone that likes basketball.
Right. And if you see him in a suit, what do you take him as?
A businessman.
All right. So the analogy, and it was loose, but the analogy that I'm trying to make is, if someone presents themselves in a certain way, right? How do you view them as something different? I.e., a woman who has kids. If you see her constantly in mommy mode, how do you mentally click into addressing her as the girlfriend?
I got my titties out while I'm taking care of the kids.
Nah, you don't.
No,
That's
but
a lie.
you're
You're in a sweatsuit.
Right, but you're tending to kids, right? And I'm not saying that's not attractive, because it damn well can be. But what I'm saying is that if it presents a certain way,
okay,
it's inclined to be taken that way.
Yeah.
I received that.
So it goes both ways, right? Like, we have to do whatever we do to entice, but I think it goes both ways, right? How do you snap out of that? Or create a different image?
We have this podcast, and we happen to share once it's launched with the significant others that we may need, that we think may need to hear it.
Oh yeah, these weren't personal views. No, these were just
general for anyone to
generalizations.
use for any reason that they may see fit. I like that though. I like the idea of saying, we have some good friends who had initiated quite a few weeks ago that we should have some scheduled date nights. Like, hey, I'll keep your kid if you keep mine.
Yeah.
And just for life reasons, we weren't able to at the time say like, okay, this is the day that we're gonna stick to. But when we had first thought about it, we were like, we shouldn't have to schedule no date times.
But
like
you do.
we should be able to.
Nah, you have to.
Right. And we quickly,
Especially in a house with
figure
two
that
working
out.
adults, you have to.
right.
Yeah.
But understanding that we have to make that time.
Right.
And so we do have, I will say in my household, we have a lot of evening downtime. Our kids are in bed by a reasonable hour, but it doesn't mean that we're dedicating that time back to our relationship. And so I hear you when you're saying like you have to figure it out and you have to carve it out. Now I do think I keep it kind of fresh, but still may not be giving it the amount of time.
All right. So with that, hey, let's close out. Ask these last few questions, man, to our partners in Pi. Right, we identified 5 things that could potentially kill a relationship. Right, communication, sex life, pride, infidelity,
and time.
Right. What are some other things that you think could potentially be relationship killers? Right, share those in the comments below. Comment on our IG page. Let us know, and we'll pick those up in a part 2 or something like that. Coming soon, man. So we appreciate y'all, all our partners in Pod, as always.
And let's get a word from our sponsors.
Yeah.
Follow 3ThePodWay on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Chumps.
Any parting shots?
Hey, man, new slogan on the way, man. Say more, do more. 3ThePodWay.